have a mental block. In general, I consider myself a doer. I rip the Band-Aid off and just start. But this one thing, well, I just freeze. And every day, the monster gets bigger. And funny thing is that every productivity hack that I tried made it even worse. Because it turned out that the block was never in my brain. So today we're dissecting why mental blocks happen, why generic advice doesn't work, and what your body has been trying to tell you all along. Hi there, I'm Yvette, I'm a neuroscientist, and for a person who spent, well, basically a long time studying brains, well, recently I've come to the realization that it's not the same as understanding your own. And I will share with you neuroscience facts, insights, and failures that I'll meet along the way. So if this sounds like something right up your alley, well, you have to follow for more. If you're a child of the internet, your first move when something gets hard is to Google it. Or nowadays, ask an LLM of your choosing. You input the problem, you get a list of tips, and usually that's enough. For my block, every tip that I got just gave me something else to do instead of the actual task. For example, make a list. I ended up making a ton of lists. Some I just ignored, and the ones I did not, I realized I was only crossing off the tasks that were unrelated or just in the periphery of the task. Then there was break it down. And again, I broke it down into many pieces, which made me so busy with things that did not concern the actual problem. Then there was also this use the 5-minute rule. Well, for this, my brain used up the 5 minutes procrastinating with stuff that once again weren't related to the actual task. And once the 5 minutes were over, well, that was my permission to stop doing whatever I was doing. So, as you can see, all of this became another flavor of, avoidance. And, there's a neuroscience reason for this. Most of these hacks are designed for the wrong nervous system state. When your brain perceives a threat, it has 3 responses. Fight and flight are sympathetic responses. It's when your system fires up, you feel anxious, you're activated, and you're ready to move. That's the state productivity hacks are built for. But freeze is the opposite, because freeze is a parasympathetic shutdown. Your system has decided that the threat is too big to fight or run from. So it goes still. You don't feel anxious, you just feel stuck. And the frustrating part is that when I'm in freeze mode, I'm somehow also less productive at everything else. Because somehow I have told my brain that I am not allowed to do anything else that I consider productive until I face this issue. So my brain has this whole repertoire of avoidance, like TV, YouTube, suddenly catching up with a friend, opening the fridge as I am hungry, or just plain simply online shopping because there's someone's birthday around the corner. So basically, as you can see, anything that takes up enough time that after a while lets me say, well, now I am way too tired, I will go to sleep. And remember, this is all your brain doing its job, because it's trying to protect you. Back in the caveman days, freeze made sense. If everyone who walked into a particular cave never came back out, well, freezing was the response that kept you alive. But the threats your brain is responding to today are mostly not caves inhabited by a wild creature. And freeze isn't saving you from them. It's actually making them worse, because life has a way of catching up with you. But here's what I did not know before. The block I was experiencing, even though I called it mental block, well, it didn't actually start in my brain. I kept trying to fix my brain with brain hacks, but the answer was somewhere else. Here's something about how your brain works that we don't talk about enough. Your brain isn't only listening to your thoughts. A huge amount of what it's processing are signals from inside your body. There's a region called the insular cortex that's constantly receiving signals. Your gut, your breathing, your heart rate, your muscle tension, and integrating them into one continuous answer to the question, how am I right now? And feeding this answer to the conscious part of your brain. And this is called interoception. Through your vagus nerve, which is one of the main highways between your body and your brain, about 80% of the signals are going up. That means that it is going from body to brain. And only 20% are going the other way. So when I say that the block isn't in your brain, I'm a bit simplifying. Technically, the block is in the conversation between your brain and your body. That's happening below your awareness. But by the time you actually feel it as a block, the body has been the louder voice for a long, long time. Your body has been sending signals. This isn't right. Something's off. I don't want to do this. And it's been doing this for weeks, months, or maybe even years. And every time that you feel this, you override it, you push through. You tell yourself it's fine, it's just nerves, get over it, discipline, man. So your body escalates it. It tries louder signals, tighter chest, worse sleep, this really strong gut feeling. However, you still keep on pushing through, keep ignoring the feelings. And eventually, when none of that works, your body uses the loudest tool it has, and that is to stop you. It plants its feet, and that's the so-called mental block, an embodied stop. Because if you won't listen to reason, you have, well, to listen to your body, eventually. This is why I keep coming back to the same point on this channel. Brain rewiring doesn't happen in your brain alone. The brain isn't running the show by itself. The body is its co-author. Any rewiring strategy that ignores the body is asking half the system to fix the whole. So if you're sitting there thinking, yeah, okay, but where do I even start figuring out what my body has been trying to tell me? Because yeah, now we're good at ignoring this, right? And well, this is exactly the question why I built the free brain rewiring starter quiz. The link will be in the description. It will take around 2 minutes to complete, and it gives you an idea of a starting point based on the patterns that actually are keeping you stuck. But anyway, knowing that the block is embodied isn't enough, because there's still a part of you that doesn't want it to resolve. And there's a real reason why. The reason logic alone won't budge this is because your past self wrote the script your brain is still running. Years ago, some version of you made a decision. This is who I am, or this is who I want to be. And from that point on, your brain did what brains do and ran the script on autopilot. And the script was never questioned or revisited over the years. But your body kept collecting information, you know, with every meeting that drained you and every Sunday night that felt heavier than the one before. So your body was quietly cataloging the gap between the script your brain was running and the reality your body was actually living. And by the time that the mental block shows up, or better yet, body block, your body has been registering the gap for a long time. And what feels sudden is just the moment the gap got so big that you couldn't keep ignoring. So yeah, now that we're here, what do we actually do? Because there are a lot of techniques out there, but the one that actually works comes down to 2 options. You face it and complete it, or you chuck it out of your life. Maybe your past self didn't have the full picture. Maybe what was right then is harmful now. And let me be clear, this is not a message to abandon things the second that they get hard. Because life is hard, and yeah, you have to deal with that. This is more about recognizing your situation and actually giving yourself permission to letting go of what became harmful along the way, even though it started right. So yeah, acknowledge what your body is telling you. If your brain won't listen to reason, well, your body will make you listen to it anyway. And if you're at this place where you logically know, but emotionally cannot let go, and you've tried everything under the sun, well, you might check out this video next, as I discuss how a mindset reframe finally let me take a decision on a 10+ year career.